welcome back to our Blitz Sugar Cravings series. This is Health Crash TV, your guide to reclaiming feeling young, sexy and sane. I'm Claire and today we're going to be talking about a happiness deficiency. Now this really came up for me recently because I was talking to this lovely woman. She was finding it so hard to not eat biscuits on a night. So it was the evening times and she would sit and it would be so difficult for her not to eat sugar. And I was like, well, what would happen if you gave it up? And she was like, well, you know, all I do is go to work and then I come home and then I go to bed and then I get up and I go to work and I come home and I go to bed. It's often called comfort eating or numbing. Sometimes that happiness deficiency is a lack of doing something that you're passionate about. Maybe you've got out of the habit of doing something that you love. Maybe you've lost touch with your core self or feel like life is just a treadmill and you can't do anything other than what you have to do. Let me really give you back responsibility for creating more happiness in your life. It's not always an easy and straightforward path, but it's one that you should keep trying to take all the time. Putting yourself out there, doing things that scare you. One of the things that's behind that pattern is when we lose touch with who we are and what we want. So our desires and that we count as a person. It's really coming back to a lack of boundaries where we stop having a really strong sense of ourselves and we go into the world and we do things out of duty and responsibility or out of fear of getting into trouble, but really lose that sense of who you are and what that is actually about, and then claiming that. And the thing that gets in the way of claiming it is often we have to put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation to fulfill that need, to go out and make ourselves be vulnerable, to risk something, to go out and be happy. That's not always the case. A hobby can be hugely fulfilling, something artistic, doing some art, doing some photography, going and doing a singing class with a choir. Now, for you, that might be, I would love to do it, but I haven't got time, or I'm too shy to go into a group environment and kind of put myself out there. What if I'm no good? I've been there. I used to have so much anxiety about going into social situations. I suffered a lot when I was younger with panic attacks, and that would be me feeling like I was in a situation that I couldn't cope with, and I would hyperventilate and ultimately leave and then not leave the house, and I didn't want to go anywhere. And how I've learned to overcome that is to recognise that I am scared about doing it, but know that what I am anticipating happening is never, ever how it turns out. And if I go with the intention of being myself and going and enjoying the thing that I'm going to be a part of, then I always experience the joy of taking part in that. So whether it's going to a gym, or whether it's going to a singing class, or whether it's going to an art class, or whether it's going out and listening to live music, whichever the thing is that you're kind of like, actually I do quite like doing that, I really encourage you to go out and do it. I've just started doing, as you can see, I'm not horrendously funny. I've just started doing a comedy course, and the comedy course is really something that scares me because it's a stand-up comedy course, and one of the people commented on my first day, why are you here? Because obviously, you know, why would I go? Because it scares me, because I want to go and do something that pushes me outside my comfort zone, and because I know that I will grow as a benefit of that. And one of my intentions, one of my values is about growth. And you don't grow by hiding. I spent a long time not leaving my house because I was scared of going to school, I was scared of going out anywhere, and I would just stay still, not breathe and not move. And I'm so glad that I overcame that, because the adventures that I've had and the people that I've met and the things I've been able to do after that, having that courage, because once you've done it once, it's always much easier to do it again. That absolutely helps you find out who you are, what you like, and overcome that happiness deficiency. We started talking about sugar cravings, and now we're talking about things that scare you and going out and changing your life and growing. But that's how the body works. The body sends subtle signals to help us to look at what we can do in our lives and take responsibility for bits of it, so that we can grow and evolve, and really for us to live a better life that's more heartfelt and more authentic. So number one, when you feel your sugar cravings coming up, ask yourself what it is that you really need. Number two, find out what gives you joy and passion and interest. Number three, find out what scares you about going and doing that. Face your fear and take steps to create more happiness in your life. Because only then will you not feel the need to have to numb. Brené Brown calls it armor, when we eat sugar so that it numbs us out, and then we just go into this cycle of beating ourselves up, and it's totally distracting from actually taking steps to go out and make yourself happy. So I empower you, I encourage you, and I hope for you to go out and be inspired by this, to go and create more happiness for yourself.